Too many people suffering, and not enough hands reaching out to help. Got a moment to hear about the Low House? It means a lot to me, and to others. Good to know there's still some folks who can take an interest in the welfare of others. The Low House is a place where folks down on their luck can get a hot meal and a bed to sleep in. More importantly, they can do it. I run the place. Trying to, anyway. Look, I'll be honest with you. We get a little help from some other it takes credits to provide for those in need. And if you can spare a few credits, it'll do a lot of good. Thank you. I don't know if you believe in karma, but I do. I think you just earned yourself some. The Low House can only help the community because of generous donations. The weather has been good, so things are good. If you don't have a home when it gets cold or rainy, that's when it gets rough. If you're serious, I'm drowning in work. Philborn Agricultural Systems feeds basically everyone in the stretch. Bless the Philborn brothers. But their latest IntelliWheat shipment is late. Could you ask Sarah Philborn what the holdup is, very politely? This is a huge help. If there's anything you can do to speed up the wheat delivery, please do it. I'll have more work for you when you get back.
If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere. Either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest. Filburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food. Seems those two are content to think small. I mean, you're right, of course. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? I know, we're late. It's been this whole frustrating episode. Short version, the farming equipment outside the walls needs to be manually rebooted. We're committed to helping the unfortunates on this. You would do that? If you get it rebooted, I'll get the harvest going. I'll talk with my husband, but I'm sure we... Just be careful. Ashta are very dangerous.
Protocol.
I can help.
All clear. I am standing down.
Nice work, Captain.
Anything I can help you with? Need some work done? I'm sure you can find something you like.
Get away!
That is good news. What was the holdup anyway? Works for me. I hate to ask it, but I do need more help. Everything runs on charity. And our benefactors, though kind, I think sometimes, well, get sick of seeing me. A new face may ease up the purse strings, or at least save me some errands. So, the mayor, Elias Cartwright, has always been generous to us, but it's been a while since he's donated. Raisha Lands is a huge... Both of those are... The last is a... If you could convince Duncanlin... You are a breath of fresh air. Once you're done with that, come back to me. Thank you for your time.
It's not that I don't like helping you. It's the optics of it. Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own stuff.
Good to meet you, friend. Name's Now, I've got a memory for faces, and I can't. I make it a point to introduce as the founder. You're more than welcome. Yes, I'm sure you know us. I like to think that's what sets it. We don't rely on machine. I won't pry about. However, What day is it? Oh, shoot! I forgot. I'll send over my usual monthly donation to Amira. She truly is a wonder. And with the building project her and Mr. Tate are planning, there may be... I'll talk with Amira later. I didn't mean to cause any problems. Between you have the city's thanks. A genuine pleasure talking to you.
Never ever go outside the city walls after sundown. That's just our own resident.
You being here is not our usual sort of customer.
Welcome to Aquila City's Trade Authority. What brings you to the Trade Authority? The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal matters. We're neutral in all affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. Sorry, I dutifully follow the policies laid out by the Trade Authority. I'm done discussing this matter. Now you're speaking my language.
You meet all sorts in Aquila City.
I think you'll find I'm pleased you chose to visit us today. Oh, so Amira has some help? Good. She's going to work herself into an early grave if she's not careful. Laredo Firearms prides itself in helping out all the residents of Aquila City. I'll send Justin over to deliver our monthly donation. You are quite welcome. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Come back anytime.
Elias and Raisha both sent their donations. Thank you. No word from the Trade Authority. I'm sorry I even asked. I like to believe everyone is capable of empathy and compassion, but people like Duncan test my faith. Some days are easier than others. For example, because of you, today is one of the days which gives me strength instead of sapping it. And Zara Philborn came by and told me what you did to help her. You fought Ashta, and you didn't even bother to mention it to me. You are... I just don't know what. Sarah Philborn gave me these credits to give to you for your help with the farm. You more than deserve it. And people say I'm too altruistic. I have one more thing for you to do, but I hope it's more of a reward. This is part of the Intelliwit harvest. I'd like you to deliver it to Simone Jansen and her family. I want you to see the fruits of your labors.
I tell you, I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Hi. Wanna...
Thank you for saving my husband. Amira said to expect you. This sweet ensures my family won't go to bed hungry. I genuinely don't know what my family would do without Amira. And you have no idea how much it means. Over here in Aquila, it's humbling to see regular people just looking after us. On behalf of my family, of my daughter, bless you.
They're surprisingly sneaky. Can't wait to get off this.
You simply won't find a politician who works harder for his people.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy. Here's an idea. Why don't you shout that louder so everyone at UC Security hears? Either show me what you're trying to unload or get the hell out of here. I'm not talking price until I know what the hell I'm buying. Whoa, way too hot for me. That stuff is nothing but bad news. Why don't you take your shipment and try somewhere else? All I'm going to point at is the ceiling, with my middle finger. Get that stuff out of here before UC Security catches on. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit. Well then, we have nothing left to discuss, do we, love? Be seeing you soon.
Oh my god. I'm literally following in your footsteps right now.
You bring me that finder's fee? Or are you here to waste my time again? Sure, go ahead. You shoot me and then... Listen, love, I've heard it all. You must be new at this game, love, so I'm gonna... In our business, nothing gets done and... You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember... There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
A reminder that Bring Your Child to Work Day is not an officially sanctioned holiday, and that it is not... would like to join Sidonia in celebrating over 275 years of living on Mars. The United Colonies support the citizens of Sidonia.
Huh? What do you want? I thought I...
Look, I told you. I learned your man. So why are you still here?
Hey, welcome to the Sidonia Trade Authority.
I wish there was more to do around here. Drinking gets old.
Crime's at an ultimate. I'm low around Sidonia. Let's keep it that way.
Please excuse me, I'm just passing through. I think your scanner's broken, buddy. I haven't done anything. Are you that gullible? Look at you. Wyatt, be a I thought I was safe here.
A reduced noise ordinance is in effect every night from 2200 hours until 0500 hours the next morning.
Layland's been going. Is she gonna give it a rest?
Neva, sit down, have a drink. So, smooth jump into the Soul system? UC security hassle you?
Cut the crap, Adlin. Let's make this quick. There's only so long I can stand a sink of minor sweat and stale beer.
Okay, take it easy. Here's the fleet's kickback, just like I promised.
What is this bullshit? This is half. Half of what you promised.
No reason to get upset, sweetie. Security around.
It must be great to be able to see yourself whenever you want. I bet your whole house is full of mirrors.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away. Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard... okay. If you've got a whole shipment of this... right down to business! And no small... Now listen up. You probably spent... Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. Don't worry, you...
Oh, my God. I heard about what happened with Ron. Oh, what a two-faced...
Hey, I know another
Excuse me?
The Lux condos aren't anything special, but...
What a day, huh?
Used to think I was Vanguard material. Until I discovered that space travel turns my stomach in knots.
Something I can help you with? Adler Camp. Who the heck is that? Adler, you said? Nope. I think you have me mixed up with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been... hey now. Take it. Oh, I told him I'd pay up. Well, look, I haven't... What games? Why are you doing this to me? I don't have the money. Sure, I guess I could ask for a 7-day shift. I don't know. How dare you try and threaten my family? Holy shit. You're right. Adler doesn't just want me beaten up. Please, tell Adler I'm sorry for trying to wiggle out of the debt.
Using Isaac. Using Isaac. I am your son. Your shadow.
Have something for me? There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message? Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates? I'm interested? Come on. You're not shopping for real estate here. I'm offering you a crack at some real money. So can you handle it or what? That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
Look at you, Freestar Ranger, deputized and ready.
This here is the most important work in the game.
If you're going to use the elevators or stairs to reach the other levels, try to keep...
Wow, look who finally had the guts to show up. So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew. We'll see. When the waters get deep, it's sink or soak. Before I put you to work, let's get I don't know if Adler mentioned it. You're signing up with... There's a medical supply on board that ship. It's done when Rake stops breathing. Head back here when you... Rake used to run with the fleet. Hell, I'm the one who vouched for him in the first place. Back then he had a different name. Everything was fine until he won.
Pilot of the Regana. We are a simple transport ship heading to New Homestead. I do not understand. Please. Well, normally I would say no, but frankly it will be safer for us that way. Alright, you can dock. We will talk then.
I am not sure what to make of you being here. If you wanted to kill us, you could have done that from your ship. If you wanted our cargo, we could have jettisoned it. I guess I should just stop talking and let you say your piece. That is not something I am going to do, not until you reveal your intentions. As far as you are... Now, do you mind... You really do not know which one of us is Rake, do you? And you do not seem to care either, which makes me think you really want to save him. Okay, I have idea. We can strike his name from Manifest, make it so he was never... Then, when we dock, we will leave him on this ship. That is fair. We do not want any part of the fleet. Is that all right with you, Austin?
Do I have a choice?
It does not appear you do. Well then, it is agreed. You go back to your ship and we will make sure Rake was never on ours. And in case any of your handlers get suspicious, here. We had an extra crate of supplies loaded, in case one got damaged. This should be proof you were not here to bargain.
Unpleasantness aside, the people of New Homestead...
So now what? They're gonna put me in a cis-death prison? I'm not saying it's worse than death. Close.
I thought we were dead. I can't believe it.
This unpleasantness aside, the people of New Homestead will be
Thanks for the help with the Cliptic. I had it under control, but it definitely went faster after you jumped into the fight. Now tell me about the Ragana. You know what? I have no idea, and it's frustrating the hell out of me. I suppose I could have pissed off someone I screwed over in the past. Mercenaries? Guns for hire? I'll tell you. We do it. I don't like complications. Yeah, right. You just got your story stinks, so choose. You let their worthless lives come before my orders? Now because you were too... That being said, you saved my... But guess what? It's gonna cost you extra. Jettison those supplies I know you grabbed. Consider it payment. Of course I may even pay a... Now you see how it works. Anyway, you wanted into... Hope this business with rakes taught you if you screw up? Yeah? Now that you know the deal, I'm gonna upload the coordinates. Head out there as soon as you... Thanks for the help with the Cliptic. Now tell me about the Huh. No kidding. I would have preferred if you... Anyway, you wanted in... Hope this business with rakes taught you if you screw up? And I want... You better stow that crap. Now that you know the deal, I'm gonna upload the court. Head out there as soon as you... Yes, what?
We've docked. I'm sure whoever's in that ship will be thrilled.
Commander Ikonde wants to see you.
Good day, Captain.
I had a friend on the Ragana. I hope I'll be able to see him next time we're on shore leave. I could have joined any division of the UCD.
Have anything to report? We got the message from the Ragana about Austin Rick. Suffice to say, he's got a lot to up. That's a smart line to follow. Part of this road. Just remember. Oh, one. There was concern after what happened. coming to her rescue. But a gamble. Then it worked. Now it's time.
Our intel on Seer show.
Our files indicate. Yes. But before we get... just remember.
And their ruthlessness, you should
So what's next? Where you'll meet Delgado, no doubt.
Delgado is the leader of the Crimson Fleet. You'll want to know...
In any case, now that you're with the fleet, you'll be operating independently. We will shadow you eventually, but we'll need to maintain our distance for now. This will also give us time...
Sir, on that note, shall we begin implementing the upgrade?
Immediately, Lieutenant. I hope your entry into the fleet has overcome any doubts you may have. Keep up the good work.
What are you hailing for? Land in the key or don't.
Get out of my face.
You said the ticket was 10K, but it was 30. Big difference on 40% of 10 versus 30.
You wanted 4K, you got 4K. Not my problem.
If you're stealing from me, you bet your ass it's your problem.
You kidding me? Way to make a mess in front of my new roof.
Hey, steal from me and get caught? Better off dead.
Sounds like you did. Now toss this body out of an airlock before it turns into a damn air freshener. The hell took you so long? Forget it. Please. It'd be one less sloppy rook whose mess I had to clean up. The last thing I need is another... You want to leave the I don't care. Time, but... Pencils ready? This floating scrap might look a little... Hell yeah, it is. Anyway. All right. History time. So, is in orbit around
Right there. You owe the fleet a debt. I was hoping you'd say that. Lock and load!
Eradicated, I believe we are no longer alone.
you'd catch them.
I knew I'd find you.
You're gonna pay for that!
Are you looking to start something? 'Cause I'll finish.
Need something? What are you looking at? The fleet protects our own, but you turn against us, and you're dead.
The UC is so clever. Supermax prison, lock, key. Cute, huh?
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy. I am, of course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Cricks. Good evening, Mr. Cricks.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I call an
protect your ass
invitation.
at the same time.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific...
So, tell us about Jasper Cricks' version of the Crimson Scar.
All I can tell you is that under my guidance, the Crimson Scar became more influential than every other syndicate combined. Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power, people that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits. Gail,
I need
I have to tell you,
hobbies.
I was having the time of my life.
So you'd consider extortion, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and murder to be positive life influences?
No. I'd consider them as just means to an end. Those so-called crimes were merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy the Crimson Scar a few spacecraft.
Yes, let's talk
You
about
don't
that.
make it in this
It
life
appears
without
you weren't satisfied with terrorizing New Atlantis alone.
Oh, I've never stopped reaching, Gail. The amount of money we were making in New Atlantis was decent, but the really big scores were in space, on the cargo ships. We're talking millions of credits, maybe more. Who the hell could count it all?
Most people assume this is when the UC decided to actively set up a task force to pursue the Crimson Scar.
That's correct. Those idiots in charge of the United Colonies were clearly embarrassed that they had allowed the Crimson Scar to
project.
make the
Just
jump
sell
into
the
space.
materials.
They sent ships after us. Lots of ships. I almost think that they enjoy starting wars.
Perhaps this was the first time you had finally reached too far.
You could say that. I count my time running the Crimson Scar as a learning experience. I wouldn't say I reached too far. I'd say I reached too fast. Didn't cover all my bases. Made some stupid mistakes. One thing's for certain, though. When I was finally arrested and thrown into the lock, I had plenty to think about.
What do you need?
Where did your stellar rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Were these violent crimes? Murders?
I'm a bit offended you even asked that question, Gail. Sure, a few people here and there walked away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way. They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything, and didn't want to waste their time with rehabilitation.
What changed that? Was it the robbery in 2218?
2218. Oh, yeah. The Galbank archives. Very good, Gale. I see you've done your research. That would be when I rounded up a few of my buddies and we knocked the place over. Made off with a ton of credits. My first big score.
Is that why the Crimson Scar decided to bring you into their ranks?
That's right. They brought me in, taught me the ropes, and I did crimes for them for 5 years. Till I decided I wanted more. I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place, and started running the show. I've been the one in charge ever since.
Was it absolutely necessary to cut his throat and leave the body on a public street in the well?
On the street, reputation is everything. I wanted everyone in the city to know that Jasper Cricks was taking over. I think they got the message.
ask you one final question. Let me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Fine. Go ahead.
When is enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Cricks need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you'd ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job. Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. We're done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gail, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
Not now. I'm busy.
We haven't decided.
The hell are you doing?
Well, it's just, we were thinking. Why is it every time we go out and do a job, it's you?
My friend's got a point, Bog. Every pirate in this joint comes to the Nova for a drink.
Seems to me, instead of trawling deep space for stick change, we got a much bigger target.
A lot of jingle in those pockets, Bog. Could use a good shake.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but here's my take. First off, the creds you spend here go to the fleet. Not today, not today.
Certainly. Let's talk about something else. How did the Crimson Scar become the Crimson Fleet?
After I busted out of the lock, I decided to take things to the next level. I had the key, a few UC ships, and a couple dozen ex-cons at my side. But I needed more, so I sent out the call. Once word got around, didn't didn't take long for freelance pirates from every corner of the Seven Systems to show up.
And this is how the Crimson Fleet was born.
Exactly. The key became our base of operations. We spent months reinforcing our position there, making it nearly impossible to approach.
What was the UC's response to the situation?
First of all, UC security gave up and handed the reins over to the big guns, the UC Navy. The Navy in turn sent ships to attack the key. I'd say there have been 3 major attacks over the last few years. And as you can tell by the fact we're having this interview, all the attacks were embarrassing failures.
Do you feel these embarrassing failures led them to form UC systems?
Absolutely. They've clearly given up.
I was wondering when you'd wander my way. The name's Fergus. Fergus Wickham. But you could call me Bog. Welcome to the last Nova, where the drinks are never free. Got it back in my experimental days. Before we fixed up Nova, she was a real boggy mess. Practically an indoor swamp. I figured some of what's growing around here could make some decent booze. Some might say I only got the booze part right. Got it back in my experimental days. Before we fixed up Nova, I figured. Well, then you've come to the right. Since it's your first time with us, I'm willing to make an exception to the rule. 1 free bottle of Bog's Grog. That's the spirit. I knew you'd be the adventurous type. And if you like it, you're in luck. Cheapest drink you can find, and guaranteed to drown those sorrows. Nova wasn't always the lovely sight you see before you. She used to be a hydro farm and put up quite a fight when we decided to give her a makeover. Now that's a trade secret, mate, and a homegrown one at that. But nothing to worry about. Only things that kill my... See for yourself. Next time you need a pint, come and find me.
This here's Jasmine. You need anything for your ship, she's got you covered. We'll hit up the depot next since these doors have given out on us. So anyway, we were talking about the Lock. About 100 years ago, the prisoners rioted and took over the place. After stealing some ships, they were actually able to make it up here and took over the key.
About time you brought us new blood, Neva. I was getting tired of trading with the same old faces.
You're just ticked everyone's getting wise to your ridiculous prices, Alundra. Anyway, welcome to the depot, Rook, where you'll be lucky if these blood-sucking leeches don't bleed you completely dry.
Whoa, whoa. It's not our fault that people don't appreciate how much it costs to get untraceable merchandise onto the key.
Neva's just finding
Shipment of gear. She should have done her homework.
Yeah, sure, laugh it up. I'll remember that next time I need something from you cheapskates. Let's move on. Back to my story. After the liberated prisoners grabbed the key, they established it as a base of operations and began pirating the spaceways. That was how the Crimson Fleet began. Of course, Jasper Cripps had a lot to do with all that, but we'll get to him later. Brooke, meet Zuri, Queen of the Rare Exports.
If I don't have it, you don't need it.
Neuroamps, blueprints. Hit her up and she'll take care of you.
Speaking of which, you still owe me for that last purchase, Neva. It's like 5 figures. Don't make me collect it the hard way.
The hard way? Oh no. Rook, protect me from Zuri's vengeance. Enough of the bullshit, Zuri. I'll pay you when I pay you. Deal with it. Got a problem with that? Take it up with the boss. On the right, you've got Bradley from the Trade Authority. I'm sure you know the deal there. He'll buy pretty much anything, no matter how hot. Then we got our med bay on the left, run by the one and only Samina Mizra. She'll patch you up, if you've got the money. We don't run any free clinics up in here, you don't? Okay, this is our final stop. Over there, you've got the Last Nova, where Bog serves watered-down drinks at ridiculously exorbitant prices. And right here is the most important place on the entire station, the Reckoner's Court. Run by the incomparable Shinya Voss.
Another new Rook, Neva? I can't believe Delgado still lets you recruit given what happened with the last one.
You mean Austin Ray? It's been taken care of, all right? I don't like loose ends, and this Rook is the one who tied it off.
Perhaps next time you'll try to be a bit more discerning regarding your choices. It's far more cost-effective.
Yeah, look at you, darling. Shinya handles our lifeblood. The money. We call him our reckoner, but if you ask me, he's actually a pain in the ass.
And Neva will slit your throat if she thinks you'll bleed creds.
Go to hell, boss. Take care of our new friend here, or I'll find a way to pull the pin on that little party popper in your chest. Anyway, Shinya will get you set up in our system. I've got real work to do. Once you're done, head upstairs and I'll introduce you to the boss.
Time for a proper introduction. I am Shinya Voss, the official reckoner for the Crimson Fleet. And since Neva so thoughtfully mentioned it, yes, this is a bomb embedded in my chest. And no, I'll never know the meaning of the word humble. In fact, I find Delgado's idea of a security measure to be quite empowering. Glad you approve. Obviously, betrayal isn't taken lightly around here. Since I oversee the bulk of transactions and maintain all accounts for the fleet, I'm a prime target for information. Should our enemies capture me or I grew any semblance of a moral conscience, you might consider me the greatest threat we have. For Delgado, the bomb grants peace of mind and a certain degree of safety. It's why he's the boss. Now, let me get you set up. A moment while, thanks to advanced modifications even Ryujin would envy, I can interface directly with our mainframe and the Galbank network. This allows me to move and clean credits faster and more efficiently than any run-of-the-mill cyber runner. There. You're done. All you need now is Delgado's blessing, and you'll be one of us. Getting into... Anyway, thanks to our... I've grant... If Neva's chosen wisely, we certain... Now, I believe that covers all. Take the elevator...
Alright, listen up. You can all stop complaining. Atrium to cargo bay doors have been repaired. Oh, and you're welcome. Now.
When the tour is over.
Decorated members. It's just me repeating. 5 hours.
Got a bounty so big. The Trackers Alliance had to beef up their servers just to keep tabs on it.
Protects our own. You turn against us. I can spot a UC Vic out a mile away. Need to get in.
I like my weapons like my coffee. Skull. Bogged grog is fine if you like cheap moonshine. Give me an Erdebrand Noga and I'm too Delgado. Unless you want to get keel-hauled across the key. I always thought heat leeches. Never considered trying to...
Every captain here's earned their stripes.
Imagine having your...
us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books.
Some religions say our lives
sent an armada after our little fleet of ships, picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but you see, security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gale. But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots? Tell us what the future holds for the Crimson Fleet.
Changes are coming, Gale. Huge changes. Crimson Fleet will soon be a much bigger player in this little game between the members of the settled systems.
That's quite a bold statement. Would you care to elaborate?
Well, let's just say that I'm on the brink of a score so large, it makes everything else pale in comparison. Beyond that, you'll just have to wait and see.
If you aren't willing to discuss the details, why grant SSNN this interview?
Simple. I refuse to allow the UC to spin or bury the story, making it sound like they're in complete control of the situation. I'm gonna tell you right now, they aren't.
Why does the Crimson Fleet need to make this mysterious move that you're being so evasive about?
I know SysDef instructed you to draw this meeting out as long as possible.
So, now that we are all here, it's time to get down to business. The two of you are the only rooks. Neighbors willing to put you and everyone else on. All right? When you sign up, you stay loyal? Boss. Good.
Can we get on with this? I want to get drunk at the last Nova.
I'm impressed. That is the first intelligent thing you have said this entire time, Mathis. Since you two seem so pack your cold weather gear, Rooks. Where we are going, you're going to need it.
Oh, God, don't tinge on.
Crix's legacy is no story, neighbor. We've got...
I hope you're right.
This initiation, as Neva calls it, is your chance to see where it all began. On Suvorov with Jasper Crix. Before Crix left the fleet, he left a message talking about a major score. One that would set up the fleet to be a big player in the settled systems. Somewhere down the line, they started calling it Crix's legacy. And everyone who's tried to find it, if we're gonna beat those odds...
Dale's leaving out the... Crix left.
Don't listen to her. When we get our hands on Crix's legacy, the fleet will be operating at a completely different level. We will become more than a match for UC SysDef. Exactly. Now you're beginning to understand. Okay. To that end, the next... Since Mathis doesn't...
Don't you have business on Suvorov?
Captain, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived your...
Too many missions. Nothing on time.
Take the key, because it ain't no fun.
Let's see what we have now.
As long as you put the fleet first, we won't have any problems.
I always thought E-leeches were just...
What'll it be? Well, you look like you could use one. The last Nova never closes, so come back.
Every captain here's of the stripes. They didn't. Always listen to Delgado, unless you want to get killed.
Were my instructions unclear? What do you want? About time you got here.
I told you you were wasting your time, Del.
Yeah? We will see. And Mathis, I am running things around here, so keep your mouth shut. You got that? All right, listen up. We are here to dig up whatever you pick up. Don't think, don't get... It's so simple.
Hold on, no...
All right, that's enough. If either of you want, when you're on edge, if that doesn't work for you...
Yeah.
Oh, and there's one more thing. Your little friend can tag along. We have a lot of ground to cover.
Nothing like the smell of energy blast. Are you looking to start?
Welcome back.
That ship will carry. Like touching down on a cloud. Your landing skills never cease to advance. Any place with intelligent life would roll out the red carpet for you. So clearly, there is none here.